Welcome to episode 3 of our Popcast featuring comic books, toys, collectibles, and movies. I'm John, and this is Steve.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? How's it going?
So we had a busy week with, I know I went to two comic shows this weekend.
I know it was a really busy week. There was I think 3.
They're calling this like comic show season. This is when it all kicks in now. I went to the one in White Plains first.
There was one in Philly, correct?
The one in Philly is actually this weekend coming up.
Oh, I could have. Oh no, someone at the New York Comic-Con told me there was one in Philly that weekend too. So I guess he got confused. I guess.
Right, and I don't know that that's directly competition for those other shows because it's probably it's about 100-mile drive. So I mean I know some people are going to do it. I'm closer to Philly now than I am to New York. So it was a trip for me to get up to White Plains and then into Manhattan.
Yeah, well, that's good though, because a lot of people don't want to make the trip all the way from Philly to New York. So
right,
it's good to have their own comic book convention in those places.
And I hate to say it. I mean, Philly's a great city, but nothing is New York. Everything is always smaller. So I do want to try to get my kids into maybe the October show in New York because they've been to the one in Philly a couple of times and it's good. It's a good show. It's just it's not as big.
Oh, you know what's crazy? The tickets went on sale today, and they were sold out in less than a minute.
For what, October?
Yeah.
What do you mean sold out?
The sold out. Well, the first wave. You know how they always come out with waves of tickets.
No, I didn't realize they did that.
Oh, they do that. So
you mean like where you buy a package and you get all kinds of you get to meet this person and do that thing?
No, all the tickets were on sale today.
Okay.
Right? They released some tickets, and they were sold out in 2 minutes. And then they'll release another batch next month.
Okay.
So they do in portions.
Right.
Of I guess the tickets.
And this is the same. This is going to be at the Jacob Javits Center as well, right?
Yeah. This is October, New York Comic-Con, basically the big show.
Okay. Now help me get this straight, because I've been sorting this out the last couple of years, and I'm really bad with. I always forget names and stuff, but my kids have kind of gotten it straight. Wizard World is the show that's coming up in Philly next week, and that's the one that, from what I see, it specializes more in a lot of celebrities. They get a lot of celebrities at that show. The one at the Javits Center didn't have any celebrities. The one that we both went to this past Saturday. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, now then what is the title of that show?
Well, they call it's the first ever, I guess they're calling it a special edition.
Right.
New York Comic-Con. And basically it's more focusing on just comic books, straight up comic books.
Right.
As you probably went and noticed, it was just straight up comic books. It really wasn't anything else they were selling.
What I really liked about it was loaded with creators. I mean, there was just so many creators at that show.
It was all just basically just for comics only, creators, just books. When I was there, I just saw only 2 places that were selling action figures. Really.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of toys.
And then art, there were a lot of pieces that was very small. People selling prints,
right? But
not that many though.
Yeah. What the one thing I was upset about with that show was one of the main reasons when I went to the Asbury Park show about 2.5 months ago, and I missed Claremont, and that was my own fault. I went on Sunday, and he was apparently there only Saturday. And I wanted to meet him at this show. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted him to sign, including my Days of Future Past. And I don't think I was wrong on the website. I don't think it said he was only there on Sunday, but it turned out he wasn't there on Saturday when I was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I winged it this time, so I really didn't look at anybody that was there.
Right.
I just went. I really didn't take any books. I just went low-key, hanged out with people, took a lot of pictures.
Yep.
It's first time, first special edition Comic-Con, so just wanted to see how it was and not get too crazy about it yet.
Now, you were saying that you thought it was a smaller show, and I'm sure it is compared to the October show, but coming from White Plains, which that also was a very good show, and that's run by Rob, the guy who appears on Comic Book Men.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he did the one in Asbury Park a few months ago, too. That's shaping up to be a pretty good show. A smaller venue. It was probably about a quarter of the size that was at the Javits Center. But it also had a lot of creators. As a matter of fact, Ann Nesenti was there. Herb Trimp was there. They had Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. He used to do the covers for the New Mutants, and he worked on Moon Knight a while back. All total. Jim Steranko was there. They probably had about 20 pretty big names, creators there, and they did a panel and everything. Denny O'Neil was there as well. I wasn't disappointed with that show either.
So with Special Edition Comic-Con, I feel like that we're trying to bring back what it's really meant for comic books.
Right.
Like I said, that's where you saw the creators.
Right.
There weren't any celebrities.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I love San Diego Comic-Con. I love New York Comic-Con. It's a blast. I have a really good time. But I just felt it got a little too commercialized.
So, all right. So this is what I need you to clarify for me. So the show from this past Saturday, they're going to have another one in October, which is a bigger venue.
Yeah.
But that show also doesn't have a lot of celebrities, correct?
Actually, no. There was a lot of celebrities from last year.
Isn't there two shows in New York that happen around October? Two different companies run them. Is one of them Wizard? I mean,
yeah,
Wizard...
one's Wizard World, and then the other one's New York Comic Con.
Okay. All right.
But
I know Wizard World's thing is it really packed the celebrities in now, but it's also reflected in the tickets. I mean, it'll cost, $60 to $75 to $100 to get in, depending on the type of ticket that you buy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I understand pop culture. That's what it's. Comic-Con is pop culture. It's not just only comics now.
Right.
Like, that's what I think I have to understand now from now on.
Right.
Of course, there's gonna be celebrities. They have to make ticket sales. Of course, that's obvious. It's a business at the end of the day.
Right.
What I'm saying though is that the little small shows, the little small venues, the one last Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. It was just mostly focused on the comics.
Right.
And
exactly.
The creators and the illustrators and. That I enjoy that more, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Than the other Comic Cons.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the whole celebrity thing doesn't really impress me. I appreciate the talent, So yeah, there's celebrity when it comes to the artists and writers to a degree. But what I'm impressed with when I meet them is someone who I really enjoyed their work. I enjoyed their writing. I enjoyed their artwork. And for me, I'm old school, so I'm targeting a lot of the guys who were doing this stuff in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I'll give the show at the Javits Center a lot of credit because they mixed it up. They had a lot of young, hip people there. So they brought that crowd in. They had the guys who are drawing right now, and then they had a lot of the vintage guys that I wanted to see.
That's what I was saying before. It's just refreshing to see, to be one of those shows. Yeah. I know, celebrities. I really hate the celebrity. One thing I really hate though when they charge for autographs or pictures.
Well, the celebrities do. I mean, a lot of them. Like the Wizard World one that I'm going to be going to this weekend, you don't even see these people. Well, first of all, you're not allowed to photograph them unless you're paying. Yeah. And a lot of times you can't even see them. They keep them behind curtains and stuff. And, it's I really don't care about that. That doesn't interest me. I don't want to walk over and shake somebody's hand and say, oh, I met so-and-so. For me, it's you're on a TV show. You were in a movie. You were in a movie 30 years ago. Okay, good for you. That doesn't float my boat. It doesn't do anything for me.
Don't get me wrong. I would enjoy to meet somebody, but not dish out money to meet somebody.
Well, that's it. Because you never really know. Am I just and you're just another you're another revenue stream for them. They're really I mean, that's one thing I will say. Both shows that I went to this weekend, all the artists and writers that I met, they were so genuine. They were so friendly.
Exactly.
These guys were just so down to earth. It was great to meet a lot of them.
Exactly, and I feel like that's what's missing. Celebrities charging so much money. We're already paying a lot to get into the convention. Yeah. And then they have them behind, like you said, the curtains, hiding them. Oh, you got to pay $20 to take a picture with them or to even talk to them or shake their hand or whatever.
The only one I've ever been tempted by is Stan Lee.
Of course. That's a different story. It's Stan Lee.
It's Stan Lee. It has to do with comics and stuff. And I believe he was at Wizard World in Philly last year. but we didn't do it in advance, and it actually filled up, and he was pretty expensive. I think it was
Yeah, he's always expensive. He
I
always
think it was
runs about.
I think it was $150. It was like
Yeah.
150 to meet him and get to shake hands, say hello, take a picture with him. But like I said, if you didn't sign up in advance, you were out because they only took a limited number of people. I was walking around doing the math the whole time. I'm like, all right, if they're here for 3 days and they're here for this many hours, how much money can they make in that time frame? And man,
boatload.
it was pretty sick.
A boatload. Yeah, Stan Lee, I would definitely cough up the money to meet him. Of course, it's Stan Lee,
Yeah.
And obviously, he's getting old, so
yeah,
his time's running out. So I definitely would cough up the money to see him.
Yep. I mean, I look at all my Jack Kirby books, and I think, God, I would love to meet Kirby, and Stan, unfortunately, is not going to be around forever, and he may get to a point too where he just says, I'm too old for this. I can't,
Yeah, that's true too.
It's got to be hard, I'm sure they give him the best treatment and stuff, but
of course, yeah.
I mean, he's going to be 90 soon.
But I'm not gonna lie though, I did pay money for one signature.
Who's that?
For Jacksaw Him Duggan.
Okay.
He's he's a professional wrestler.
Okay.
Back in the 90s.
Yep.
And the only reason why I spent $40 on the signature, because his character uses a 2x4.
Right.
So he signed a 2x4 for you.
Did he have the 2x4?
Yes. No.
Okay.
He had them. He had like a whole entire box pile of 2x4s. And I look at that and I look at him, and I'm like, "You're not signing 2x4s." He goes, "Yes, I am."
It's a good gimmick.
That was worth, for me. That was worth $40.
Yeah.
So I have a 2x4 by Jacksaw Him Duggan signed by him.
That's pretty cool.
Which I feel is kind of epic. And it was a funny thing too. Was like he was bored at his table.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody wanted his signature.
Yeah.
I think I was the only one that got excited for him.
Well, you know what I think happens? I think some of these shows get so big, and it's the marketing behind it. They want to attract a lot of different groups. So they try to bring the celebs in. They try to bring the creators in. And there's so many people. Like I was saying with the Javits show, they had new artists. They had older artists. So you got so many different groups. And yeah, I think there's going to be lulls because even though they're attracting so many people, as the day wears on, there's only so many people to see each celebrity or each artist. And I definitely think there's lulls. And I've been to some much smaller shows, shows that in the last year I've been to some shows that were probably an eighth of the size of the Javits one. And I've seen some of those celebrities like you're talking about, wrestling status and stuff like that, and they're just standing there trying to pull people in.
Yeah.
Some tertiary characters that were on The Walking Dead for 2 episodes, and they didn't even really have some speaking lines, and they're just standing there, and you almost feel bad. But
yeah.
By the same token, I try not to engage in the conversation because then I know they're going to try to sell me something, whether it's a signature or take a photo or whatever. And it's not that I don't mind talking to them. You can always learn interesting little facts about things.
Yeah, you never know, yeah.
It's just, my wallet only goes so deep.
But it's a funny thing, though, because I was really far from Hacksaw Jim Duggan,
mm-hmm.
and I look at him, and he starts looking at me. Like, we're both staring at each other. Then I put my hands up in the air, and I'm like, ho! And he does it to me, ho! I'm like, it was like the funniest thing ever. And I probably people thought we were, like, insane or something. And I go running up to him, and then it was like, oh my God, you have 2x4s.
How long is the 2x4? Is it like 2 feet long? Is it 3 feet?
Yeah, it's 2x4. I guess 2 feet, 4 feet. I guess.
Well, no, the 2x4 generally stands for. It used to be 2 inches deep by 4 inches wide, but that's not even accurate anymore. Yeah, it's like
pretty long.
Yeah,
I guess it would be like a foot long, maybe.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good 2x4.
Do they have like nice cut edges, or do they look like they were broken over somebody's head?
Oh no, it was perfectly clean cuts.
Yeah.
So it was a good 2x4, but like you said, you get so many celebrities and they're just it's too much, I guess.
Yeah. For me, I got a lot of books signed this weekend. That was my goal of going to the 2 shows. But you and I had discussed recently about the signatures and getting them on the cover or not getting them on the cover and stuff.
Yes.
And something I did learn because I had so many books with me this weekend and I got them all signed. I got to make sure I bring metallic paint markers with me because I do like the signatures on the cover. but it looks much better when it's done in a special ink. You know, it really jumps off the page. Sometimes when they're signing with the black Sharpie, it kind of gets lost and it looks almost like somebody just scribbled on there.
Yes, I definitely agree. Actually, a pretty good idea and tip.
Yeah.
You know, I don't.
You just got to watch with those things because sometimes you shake them up and they take the cap off and all of a sudden it drips all over the comic.
Oh yes, I know.
Those things are a little dangerous.
Yeah. Well, what do you prefer better, like right on the cover signature or inside the cover?
I think I like it on the cover. In almost all cases. As a matter of fact, a couple of guys, Wade signed a bunch of books for me, and I think he signed. It was odd. He signed one on the cover, and then he signed the other ones on the inside. And I don't know what drove his decision. I think he did have a metallic marker with him, but it was kind of strange.
I guess he wanted to mix it up for you.
I guess. And you know, then there's guys like Steranko. Steranko's unbelievable because he really looks at everything he signs as, you know, it's his artwork. And he asks you, do you want me to make it out to you? Do you just want me to sign my name? Do you want me to put it here? Should I use the metallic marker? You know, he really is like such a true artist. And when he signs it, you know, when we were talking about this, Steranko just was stuck in my head because his signature on the artwork for me, it makes it it finishes it. You know, it's a finished piece of art then, and he has such a fancy signature. But yeah, I mean, like he's very specific about where he's going to put that signature.
Well, the thing I started doing, I started buying multiple copies,
right,
of like the books I want to get signed,
right,
because I feel like the signature does damage the artwork.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's the best place to have it. The signature is on the front, though.
Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, you can go on the internet and search for any comic, and you can find an image. You know, so I'm not too concerned about that. For me, it's personal. I like having the signature on there.
Like I know when Superior Spider-Man issue 1 came out, I bought because I knew my comic book store was gonna have Dan Slott as a guest.
Yeah,
and so I bought like 4 copies of Superior Spider-Man issue 1. So I have one clean copy. That's not, he didn't sign it. I have it.
Right.
And then he signed my other 4. So I have 4 books signed by him on the cover.
Yeah.
But then what happened to me before was I got my little Depressed Boy comic signed.
Right.
And I had like the variant cover, which is like impossible to find.
Right.
Impossible. I even like eBayed it, Google, like Amazon. No one has a copy of it online at all. Because it's like a very independent comic. It's very low print run. So I can understand why no one would have it. I'm like, I feel like I'm the only fan of this comic sometimes. Because no one ever knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. But it's one of my favorite comics, though.
I do honestly feel, though, that even if you don't have a book graded, because, you know, who's going to shell out the money to have every book graded?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think if the book is still in good condition, if everything else about it is good, and there's a big signature across the front, it's never going to sell for less than, you know, the mint value if it's in mint condition. And if you find the right buyer, of course they're going to pay more for the signature.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard, though, because a lot of people are very anal about, is this a real signature? And it's hard to prove that.
I think that there is a group of people that are like that, but I think also in this day and age, with so many of these cons going on, you know that there's so much access to these guys to get signatures. It's not like, you know, it's not like saying, hey, I got a Rembrandt signature, you know, or something like that. And if you look at, these guys' signatures are around enough that you can take a quick look and say, yeah, that looks reasonably like it. I mean, if somebody's going to forge a signature, the only situation, I guess, where I would say is if the book is $100 or more, maybe, and even then, I mean, why would you bother forging it for $100? It's really not worth it.
Hey, it's $300.
Well,
you gotta look at it too. It's so easy for me to scribble a name onto a comic, and then boom, I have $100. You know, so it's kind of, for me, it's hard. I don't like. For me, I wouldn't buy a signature book. I wouldn't.
Well, and I guess part of it for me too is that I'm not really doing it for the sake of selling it. I mean, this is my collection, and these are my books, and they just have a lot of meaning to me. You know, like I had Herb Trimp sign all my Hulk books. You know, I'm talking about early Hulk books, like, you know, 105, 106, 112, wherever his run started on that. And, you know, some of my books aren't in the best shape either. I'm not a guy who.
You don't board them? You don't tag them and board them?
No, I do.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
But I'm not a guy who's going to run out and look for a mint copy and pay top dollar. I'm certainly not going to buy a CGC copy. I go to shows. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I look through boxes and I look for good deals. You know, if I can find a $40 book for $5 and it's in reasonably good shape, I'm going to pick it up.
Oh, I'm the same way too. For me, it's just having the book is not really about the shape of a book. It has to be decent shape to me. What it is, a decent shape.
Yeah. But
at the same time, with the signatures, it's like a badge of honor. Like, I met this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I met him. I met the creator of this book. So that's why another reason for me I wouldn't not buy signatures.
Right.
Because I feel like it's a cop-out. Like, okay, I have this signature. Whoop-de-doo. Like, you know?
So, going back to the cons now, did the people you met, did you get any good stories? Because that's what I love. I love talking to them and finding out something interesting. Like, for instance, I met Rubenstein about 3 weeks ago at a show, and he was a big inker in the 80s. And one of his most popular works, well, two of them would be the Marvel Universe Handbook, where they...
Oh, yeah. I remember
they spelled out every hero and every villain. And he also did Frank Miller's miniseries of Wolverine. So
yes.
while he was signing the books and while we were talking, he's telling me that the covers, the very famous covers of Wolverine, he said, "You see that face there?" He said, "That's Jack Nicholson." And I'm like, "Oh man, you see, you would never know something like that unless you get it right from the horse's mouth."
Yeah.
And then he opens the book and he says, "This is Clint Eastwood." I'm like, that's cool, because he said, Miller called him up, and that was the vision. I guess maybe they started with envisioning Jack Nicholson, and then when they got ready to actually start laying out the pages, there was a movie I think that Miller said he had seen, and Clint Eastwood was in it. He was climbing rocks and stuff, and if you read that series, Wolverine's doing exactly that in the book. So they said that's Wolverine, which is kind of interesting too, because Wolverine was such a new character at the time. Now, of course, we all think of Hugh Jackman, and
yes,
So at that time, they didn't have that imagery. They had to imagine what would he look like.
I know, it's crazy too how Hugh Jackman just embodied that character. It's insane.
Well, it's a Hollywood thing, because really he's not perfect for the role, right? I mean, we all know Wolverine is supposed to be a runt. He's only supposed to be like 5'4".
Yeah.
And Jackman is, I think he's over 6 foot tall.
But I feel like it wouldn't work movie-wise.
Yeah, they wouldn't sell the tickets. I mean,
it wouldn't work, I feel, if Wolverine was a runt.
No,
to be honest.
he's got to have the sex appeal.
No, not even that. He's just the larger-than-life character,
But another thing that they changed with Wolverine because of where Disney took things is no more smoking and drinking, right? I mean, Wolverine always had a stogie in his face, and he was always drinking a beer.
I actually did not notice that, actually.
Yeah, that's something that's changed in recent years. But you read those old books, and he was always slamming them back.
Yes, I remember, yes. I remember he's iconic with the cigar in his mouth all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And the Thing, too. I mean, the Thing was always smoking a stogie.
Oh, yeah, yes, I remember the old Thing, yeah. It's crazy how things just change within the times,
Well, what's stupid about it is it's a collector's market, right? So even if you change it in the new books, collectors are always going to go back and look at old material. So you can't erase the past completely. I mean, you can never eliminate all those books. Kids are still going to see them.
Unless you, like in Future Past, you go back in time and eliminate the whole entire storyline. That's the only way of doing it, but...
Yeah.
But you're right, though. You can't eliminate the past. The past is the past, and that's why people collect the older books, and that's why the older books are more in demand.
Right.
Because we don't see things like that anymore.
I was surprised. I had I had Sienkiewicz, like I said, and his name's escaping me right now, and I feel bad. The guy who co-created the New Mutants with Claremont. McLeod. He signed my, number 1, 2, 3, those first issues of New Mutants, and I was looking at the value of those. Those books are only going for $3, or $6 in mint condition. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, because especially with the New Mutants run, It's just there's so many. There was a heavy print run of those.
Right, and
so there's you can find it anywhere.
Well, that's what happened.
It's so easy to find it.
When the 80s hit, people started getting bags and boards right in the store. They'd put the comic right in the bag, and
they'd buy like 20 at the time, and just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire in a couple of years. And I think that's why new comics will never, ever, ever reach the same prices as the older comics.
No, I mean there's going to be the rare exception here and there where they do a strange, a strange variant that.
That's because it's a low print run.
Exactly.
Well, that's like back to like the main idea. If it has a large print run, you can get that book easily. Like it's out there available.
Right.
There's so many copies of it. That's why it's going to be so cheap.
Sadly, I mean, two of the best-selling books of all time, you could go to almost any con and find them in a box for 50 cents or so, and those are X-Men #1, right? When Jim Lee relaunched the book, and the other one is The Death of Superman. I mean, those books.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because Death of Superman then outsold X-Men #1 as the top-selling book, but it was because both of those books did variant covers and they sold multiple copies to each person, and
everyone bagged and boarded them, of course, right
and everybody
away.
Thought, like you said, I'm going to take this home. I'm going to become a millionaire. It doesn't work that way anymore, unfortunately. Take it home, read it, love it, enjoy it. That's what it's there for.
Well, that's the reason why The Walking Dead issue 1 is so expensive.
Right.
Because when it first came out, it was a very low print run.
Right.
People didn't think of anything of it. It was just a very low-key, independent comic, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No one really cared about it. And until it got picked up as a TV show.
Right.
And then hell just broke loose in that book. It's like worth $2,000-$3,000.
And that's probably why the indies are the way to go. I mean, if you're really looking for investments, go after the indies. And
just hope they turn into a movie or some show or something.
Right. And I
have
to
say, with Rachel Rising. I know
mm-hmm.
that movie's I think not movie. I think a TV show is in the works for that
mm-hmm.
book. And of course, another low key. No one thought anything about it. That first issue shot up like $500 now. It's like worth $500-$600 now.
Right.
And then Preacher, I think, is going to be turned into a movie or show. I think also.
Right.
So yeah, it's just luck. You really can't. It's all luck, basically. It's like a lottery.
Yeah. So now, going back to the cons, what'd you think of cosplay? I got there. We were there at different points. We were both there on Saturday, right? I didn't get there until after 4. You were there before 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I got there like around 11. I stayed till 4. I actually left at 4.
Okay.
It's funny. But with the cosplay, I have a lot of friends that do that. I mean, I didn't cosplay that Saturday. Like I said, I just wanted to go there, have fun. Take pictures of my friends cosplaying.
Right.
I wanted to help them out. So I was taking pictures for them. They were interacting with the crowd and people, whatever. So they could put on their Facebook and Instagram.
What were some of the better costumes that you saw?
Definitely Boba Fett. JC
mm-hmm.
Boba Fett was there. He has an amazing Boba Fett costume. You would think it's actually the costume from the movie.
I think he was still there when I got there because I did see a Boba Fett, and it was a pretty good costume.
Yeah, he was the only one there, so most likely that was him.
Okay.
Amazing costume. I even spoke to him. We had a big conversation. He made it the whole entire costume by hand.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it looks like a movie costume.
That's dedication. I mean, when you have a passion to do something, you figure out how to do it, even if you've never done it before.
And then my other friend was cosplaying as Deadpool. He has a really awesome costume.
I saw a Deadpool as well, so maybe it was him.
It was probably him. Was he? He had a rocket launcher, so was he?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, so that was him too. Yeah,
and I have to say that the New York costumes are just amazing. And again, that's New York for you. Just the level of workmanship that went into some of these. When my son and I walked in, the first thing we saw was Storm.
Oh yes, I took pictures with Storm. She had a really good costume too.
It was like the black pleather and the seamstress or the quality of sewing, whatever the terminology is, was insane. I mean, it looked like it was ripped off of the movie set. She had, which was very cool. If we saw the same person, she had the Mohawk version of Storm going.
Yeah, that's the same one.
And my son, when we saw her at first, we saw her from behind. I mean, I knew it was Storm right away. And my son was like, "Why does she have a mohawk?" He wasn't familiar with that version of Storm. And with that, she turned and she faced us. And you probably saw this. She had the white contacts in.
Yeah.
Oh man, that freaked me out.
Yeah,
I've never seen that before.
She had a really good costume.
That is just going above and beyond. I mean, that's dedication.
Well, you forget, like, it's New York. A lot of people in New York. It's like a lot of filmmakers, prop people, costume designers.
Right.
So my friend that cosplays as Deadpool, he didn't make his costume.
Oh no.
So, no, he didn't make his costume. So he gets his costume from people that makes props and they do that for a living.
Right.
And he just gets them like, hey, I need this bazooka made or whatever, and they make it for him, and he just pays them or whatever.
Okay.
So that's why his costume looks so good, because you get like professionally made by it.
I know when the
a lot of people have a lot of skills too, because some of them went to school.
Right, they went to
this.
FIT and stuff. Yeah.
So
I know when the original Spider-Man movie came out with Tobey Maguire, on eBay you could very easily find there was a guy who was selling Spider-Man suits that looked exactly like the one in the movie, and you just needed to send him your measurements, and he would get you the suit. I think it was in the hundreds. I think it was $400 or $600 or $800, but it really looked crazy good. But I can't see spending that kind of money for cosplay.
Yeah, well, my friend the Deadpool cosplayer, his suit, I think he told me it was like around $300.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful suit, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's beautiful. And then he told me the whole entire story that he got it from the guy. The guy just has the print in his computer.
Mm-hmm.
So all he does is print onto the fabric.
Right.
Through the machine, and there you go. You just have the Deadpool costume.
This is where I love technology. I mean, because, you can... So we could actually go to that guy and we could tell him, scale it down to, a 6 scale for me for a 12-inch figure, and boom.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I love that concept. I mean, because it's just, the industry's taking too long to make these things. I'm going to be dead by the time they make all the characters I want.
Yeah, I know. Technology is, taking a big play into comic books. You get digital stream now. You can get comic books on your iPad.
Yeah.
It's just insane what they're doing now.
If someone's got something custom that they made, I'm not big into costumes, but especially toys and stuff, I don't mind paying $100 or $200 to somebody who customized it, because believe me, I understand the amount of work that went into that.
Yeah.
But by the same token, I'm not big into paying $100 or $200 from a mass manufactured figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, but it's hard because you want a figure so bad, but they haven't made it as a toy.
Right.
So it's really, do you want to play that game of waiting till they make that figure?
I know.
They'll make it sooner or later.
Yeah.
But it's how soon will they make it?
Right.
Versus just cough up the $200 for the custom figure.
Yeah.
And you have them already. Because I know Agent Venom is a big character. Like, people love that character.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one figure I always want to go to forums to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wish they made Agent Venom as a toy, as a 6-inch figure. I wish. I haven't seen any version of it. 3-inch, 3¼ inch, 6-inch, any version of it at all anywhere.
You search eBay for custom stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then custom Venoms I see go for at least $100, $200 easily.
That's weird because that's such a basic costume, you know what I mean? It's just a black outfit with a white spider on it. Yeah,
it's not that hard too, but like I said, it's a very wanted character, so if his demand's high enough, people will shell out the money for it.
Medicom had done about 10 years ago a real action hero version of Venom, and it was very, very small run on it. They go for a lot. They go for $500 or more.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Yeah, but those real action figures are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Retail when they came out, all those the handful of Marvel ones they did were about $125 to $150. But that one, I didn't even know that one existed until recently. Apparently, it was done very, very low run, probably towards the point where Marvel was not going to do any more of them.
Honestly, that's my first time ever hearing of it, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. If you look on ActionFigureKing.com, most of those Marvel real action heroes are on there. The ones they did were Magneto, Cyclops, Wolverine. They did Carnage. They did a Spider-Man. And they did a Ghost Rider. I That's probably most of them.
Yeah, because I know the moment when they announced that Age of Venom, the Walgreens exclusive that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Oh man, my Instagram feed and Twitter feed was blowing up with all like the toy collectors.
Right.
They're like, oh my god, they're like all flipping out. I can't wait, this and that, and people are like already pre-ordering on like other toy sites or whatever the figure, even though it's a Walgreens exclusive.
Yep.
I don't know how those online sites will get their hands on it, but
yeah, I know.
They're already taking pre-orders. I'm like, it's a Walgreens exclusive. How are you gonna take a pre-order or something that's an exclusive?
Everybody's got an angle going. It's unbelievable.
I told everyone, like, hey, you know what's my pre-order? I live across the street from a Walgreens.
There you go.
There you go. I'm just gonna be like there every night. So when's the truck coming? I'll be back in an hour.
So I got to say, one of my favorite cosplays this weekend was, besides the Storm, was there was a girl there dressed as Scarlet Witch. Did you see her?
Oh yes. Actually, I actually took a picture of her. Yes.
Again, the detail that went into that costume.
Yeah, she had an amazing costume. That I definitely agree.
Yeah, it was just spectacular. Her hair color, I think, might have been a little wrong, but it wasn't so crazy that it looked terrible.
Now you're just nitpicking.
Well, you know what it was? The costume was so perfect. Everything about it was so perfect.
Might as well go the extra mile and color the hair.
Yeah, just color the hair or get a wig.
That's true,
but I think I've also somewhere along the line, something got twisted in my head. I always imagined for some reason Scarlet Witch. I don't know if it's because of the word Scarlet. I pictured her to be more of a redhead, and she's not actually. She's got brown hair.
Well, I guess maybe because of the costume. I guess because costume is kind of reddish.
There's a lot of red and pink in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was definitely one of my favorites this weekend. And in the White Plains show, there was a kid dressed as a Beast Boy, and he looked really good. He had the pointy ears on, and I was looking close at his ears. I couldn't see the seams. Everything was green. His hair was green. It looked really good. And what's funny about that is one of my sons was Beast Boy this past Halloween, and my other son was Robin, and my daughter was Starfire. And I got a great, I got a great picture of them. But you know, I mean, I do what I can. I don't have a lot of time, so it was pretty sloppy. And my son, who was Beast Boy, he was getting aggravated with the ears and stuff. He didn't want me to glue them on. We just kind of stuck them on for the photo, and you could see
took them off. Yeah,
you could see the skin color behind the green and stuff. But this kid, I mean, he went all out. It was great. It really was great.
I do have to give it up to cosplayers. Being in costume all day sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to go to a convention and walk around and find what you're looking for and stuff, let alone doing it dressed as a superhero or a villain.
No, if you go cosplaying, there's no point of like looking for books and stuff.
Well, yeah,
you're just gonna get asked to take hundreds of pictures with.
Exactly, because that's what's going to happen next week. I mean, my kids are going to be stopping everybody for me to take pictures with them.
Like, I know, like last year, me and my girlfriend went dressed up as Fiona and Jake.
Yeah.
And I had just a Jake costume on, like the ones you buy from the Halloween store or whatever. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I was the only Jake at Comicon last year. there were hundreds and hundreds of Finns.
Yeah.
So many Finns, so like I guess a lot of people didn't care for Finn,
right?
Because there's so many Finns, so it was like whatever. But I was the only Jake, so I was getting stopped every 4 minutes.
Yeah,
to get taken pictures with. Like all the Finns wanted to take pictures with me because obviously Jake and Finn, whatever.
Right.
So every 5 minutes, a Finn came up to me. Oh, can I take a picture with you, please, or whatever. Or even like a lot of parents brought their kids, and Adventure Time is a big show for little kids.
Right.
Parents came up to me, oh, my son or daughter loves Adventure Time. Can you take a picture with them?
Yeah.
Like, it was every, 3 minutes. Like, I just gave up on buying stuff.
Well, there you go. There's Comic-Con rule number 1. If you want to enjoy the show, if you want to walk around and look at books and talk to creators, do not come in cosplay. Don't do it.
I totally agree. That's why I didn't dress up for this Comic-Con that happened, last Saturday. Because I wanted to go low-key, like I said, and just enjoy it, look at books, talk to people, and just hang out and have fun,
Well, you know what's funny? I wasn't planning on doing it, but now I'm thinking about it that we're talking to. Last Halloween, my wife included, a few people have said to me that I resemble Rick from The Walking Dead. And
yeah, I kind of see that. Yeah.
So last Halloween, I went out and got the sheriff's costume, the official one with the hat and everything.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. Yeah.
So I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of Walking Dead people at this Philly show. This was a World show this weekend.
Yeah, you should.
I could kind of freak everybody out, come walking in that outfit. But the problem is going to be exactly like we said. I'm going to get stopped so much, I'm just not going to be able to enjoy the show.
People, I got to do my things and stuff.
Maybe I could set up in a corner and charge for photos and signatures and stuff.
Yes, I'm really Rick for The Walking Dead. Just charge them $100.
I could say I'm the stunt double or something.
Oh, yeah, you can get away with that. Get to be the stunt double.
Oh man. So I also met Peter David. He had a great run on the Hulk, and he again very nice, very down to earth. I met Bob Wyasek, who did a lot of inking. I bought a page from him. I bought a concept page for him from Iron Man 2020 story that was done recently.
Okay.
And I bought a few prints. I bought a print from McLeod. I bought a book of his. I'm so into the art. I've always been into the art. That's what.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's artwork. Like I feel like with a comic, I could definitely hang it on my wall.
Yeah.
And then appreciate it just like I would appreciate like the Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
what's the same way.
What's interesting is I bought a page from Trimp. It was from, remember when they were doing the Unlimited series, like they had FF Unlimited and X-Men Unlimited, which is kind of a kiss of death. Don't ever call a book unlimited because
yeah, I know.
It's like,
trust me, they try to slap that on every single book: unlimited, variant, special.
It's not
all those cute little words to try and like make it fancy so everyone would buy it or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, because those series didn't go very far, but I think FF Unlimited maybe only had about maybe 10 or 12 books, but he had a page, and at the top of the page it was actually labeled FF Quarterly. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, I don't ever remember there being an FF Quarterly. So I actually had FF Unlimited with me, and he had signed that for me. And when I got home, I opened the book up and I flipped to whatever it said, page 24, page 32, and boom, there it is. That was the page that I purchased. And I was like, all right, now I actually have the page of a comic that I own. It's not one of the most popular books of all time, but for me, it's a Herb Trimp. Even though it's a newer one, I would have preferred some of his vintage stuff, but there's no way I can afford that.
Yeah, of course.
And
at least you have something.
Yeah,
which I feel like that's a victory more in itself. If you enjoy those stuff, even like you said, anything would be awesome,
I love to show it to my kids to really get them to understand the process. Here's the comic, this is what it looks like when it's done, and this is how it starts. The artist gets a script, and they look at that script and they envision how they're going to draw this page, and it's bigger than the actual comic book is, and one person pencils it and another person inks it, generally speaking. But I will say that Trimp page, they really gave him a raw deal, man. I mean, that was at a point in the 90s when Marvel was pumping out books, but the colorist did a horrible job. The original page looked so much better than the finished artwork with the color. The color was just terrible. It was so flat. It was so inappropriate for the page.
Oh my god! I didn't even talk about 90s comics right now.
Yeah,
it's such a bad time during the industry.
It's like one of those things you just want to forget. Marvel was pumping out so much crap to try to keep Image in line, and it just shows. I mean, there's just so much garbage out there.
I know the 90s were so bad. I felt like it was about to kill the comic book industry.
Yeah, and I mean, is there any book that is worth over $100 from the 90s? I mean, most of them are probably in the dollar box.
Yes. It's probably New Mutants issue 98, but I think that was they came out in 89 though, so I don't know if that counts.
Right. Well, and I'm not saying that, I'm not criticizing the creators there. I'm talking about, I mean, although there was a lot of bad stories and bad art, but it had to do with the volume of how quick they were pumping stuff out, and the quality just went out the window.
Yeah, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I do hate it when issues take forever to come out. Especially with Kick-Ass. I'm a big Kick-Ass fan.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass 1 and 2. Months apart, they would always delay the issue oh, come out next month. I go to comic book store, it's not there. They have to like Google it, and they're like, "Oh, we delayed it to like 3 months."
You know what?
I'm like, damn it, what the hell?
I can understand the frustration as the fan, but honestly, I would rather wait and get a good book than have something that was rushed out.
No, I at the same time I do agree. Like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather wait for something that they perfect it, whatever. But the only thing I hated though was, like, I would read the issue that came out, and then months later the new issue will come out, and I'll read the new issue.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, what happened in the issue before?
Right, because you forgot.
I forgot. It was like 4 months ago. You forget about it.
No, I know. I used to do that too. But, back in the day, the X-Men before the X-Men was Marvel, the X-Men was a single book, and it came out bi-monthly. There was only...
See, like that's not bad, like bi-monthly.
Yeah.
But come on, 3-4 months in between. That's a little too much,
Well, I think that's when you get into Image and stuff. It's a little bit more freewheeling and stuff, and they're letting the creators, do what they got to do.
But for me, that's why, especially with kick-ass or comic books like that, I just wait. I just wait till my stack gets a good amount,
and then you read them all.
Then I'll read them all. That's why I'm always behind on stuff.
Right. Like,
people will be talking about it online or in the forums, or people I know will be talking about it. In my mind, I'm like, I've not read this yet. Please don't ruin it for me.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for me.
So did you pick anything up at the con this weekend? Did you buy anything?
The only thing I bought was Marvel Select Deadpool.
Okay.
The one with the gray costume.
Okay.
I got a really good deal on it. It was $40 in the package still.
Now, what's funny is we both said there weren't a lot of toys at that show, but you managed to find somebody who had something you wanted and at a good price.
Yeah, $40, because usually out the box loose costs about $30-$40.
Right.
Because it's Deadpool, of course. It's a really wanted figure by a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, and I found him in the box for $40, which he really goes for like on eBay and Amazon for like $60 or $70 on the box. So I was really excited I bought him. That was the only thing I bought at the Comic-Con.
Okay.
And maybe like one Kick-Ass 2 variant that I didn't have.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want to go crazy and buy so much stuff.
I know.
To hurt my wallet. I've been going a little too crazy buying stuff.
Well, it's funny. I had a little hand truck with me, and me and my son walk in. I had a long box, and it was loaded with books that I needed to get signed. And
oh my God!
I
wish I was able to see you walk in with a hand truck.
Oh, it was hysterical. And then I had a little miniature kid-sized folding chair for him because he had his iPod, and whenever I was talking to one of the creators, he would take the folding chair out and start playing his iPod.
Oh my God, that's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, we had it all worked out, and it went really well. Normally, I'm in tow with I got 3 kids with me, and that's
so you got down to a science now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to screw up a few times, and you figure out how you're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
And like I said, we did both shows. We drove 100 miles up to White Plains, and then we drove down to Manhattan, which is why we got to that show so late. But they were both good shows. I enjoyed both of them. The White Plains one was about an eighth of the size of the Javits one, but lots of creators at both shows, both very enjoyable because there wasn't a lot of celebrities. There was no celebrities, in fact, and that's the type of show I enjoy. But I will be going to the Philly Comic Wizard World this weekend because the kids want to go to that one.
Yep, and like I said, I think that's what the essence of comics about. The creators, the fans, getting together, getting signatures, and just going and rumming through all the boxes of comics.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see, the creators getting their due. They may not get the royalties that they should be getting with Disney having such success now with all these movies and stuff. But it's nice to I think they really do appreciate the recognition and the fans and all of that. And, I gave donations to them, and I understand, it's hard. They're still, like all artists, they're trying to make a living.
Yeah, just like you and me, I go to my job every day. You go to your job every day,
Yeah, so you have to try
to make a living, yeah.
You got to support them. If you want to keep seeing their stuff, you got to support them. People need to get paid to do the work that they do. And if you love their work, definitely, buy something from them. Give them a donation. Help them out.
Like, those people, I understand why would they charge. Like, those people I understand.
Yeah.
And like, if it's outrageous, like $10-$20, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, But then like the celebrities that already have millions of dollars, $300 to take a picture with me.
If I want,
come on, really, man?
If I want to watch you, I'm going to turn on your TV show, and I will do a screen capture, and I'll superimpose myself in Photoshop.
Exactly.
That's good enough for me. and if you're not nice to me, I'll do something really wicked with that photo. All right, so next episode we're going to talk Planet of the Apes, right?
Of course.
Right.
Especially the movie's coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the franchise got rebooted with the first one, so I'm really excited about the new Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I love Planet of the Apes. I love the old stuff. I love the new stuff, so it's going to be a good one. All right, you want to give them the Instagram account?
Of course. I am Esteban TV, Facebook, I am Esteban TV1, YouTube. And don't forget about your stuff.
Yeah, check out ActionFigureKing.com, and all the social media is on there, Twitter, Facebook, all of it's there. I'm John CROC, and
I'm Esteban.
We will be back soon with another episode of the Popcast. Take care.
Later.